to do this once a week, once a month. We're in a pandemic. If this was a little too long, if it was a little too short, we've got four speakers left who are all doing 18 minutes each. So if you multiply that out, that's about 75 minutes. So we're going to be a little bit over, but not much. So that's pretty cool. And what I'm going to tell you is I believe that if we can get the ranks to start ranking up and recognizing right behavior and realizing from all these conversations that we're all doing the same thing, just a little bit differently. And if we all start doing the same thing, exactly the same, we're going to change the price of poker 1,000%. And that's what I want to do. So we're going next to, let's see who's next. I've got to tell you right now, I've got to look at my cheat sheet. We've got the Dennisons. We've got Stan and Delora Dennison. And again, on the Hair on Fire call every morning, the biggest supporters of us, Oklahoma City, over to Kansas, over to Colorado, everywhere they need to go, unsung heroes, didn't end up on the tech trip, broke my heart, just unbelievable. All I want to do is hug them, reward them, acknowledge them, be them. They are incredible people for the whole company. When I sleep in on the Hair on Fire, the guy that raises his hand the first time always is the one and only Stan Dennison. Kelsey is a rock star. We'll get her as our young influencer on the next one. It is amazing who these two people are. Not only are they manufacturers, not only are they formulator. Laura's got a doctorate of naturopathic health. Stan is a goat roper from way back. It is our honor to turn it over to Sean to continue the introduction.
Do you guys wonder why Tom asked me to MC this thing? Because I am. I'm wondering. I have no freaking idea. He introduces everybody and then he like forgets and he's like, oh yeah, Sean, why don't you say something about him?
Check your notes here. Read your, come on.
Yeah, it's inspiring. Jason Garcia basically told me I'm fat. Tom is, just, doing my job. And here we go. I first met Stan and Laura Dennison out of high school. I was a horse jockey. Most of you know that they're into horses big time. I never had ever bet on horses in my life. I went to go do a meeting with them, and Stan showed me the business plan, which was how to bet on horses. And I lost $400. So don't ever follow the business plan that Stan Dennison as it relates to horses. Now, his longevity business plan is much more effective. Laura is his conscience. She drives the bus. And they are both just the best people. When Annalise and I first got to longevity, on a serious note, they were the ones that rose their hands and said, hey, what can we do to help you? I remember doing calls with Stan. I remember him getting on our team calls with Laura. I remember them helping us so much, and they didn't know who we were and had no skin in the game. And I'll be forever grateful to them for that. So, Dennisons, let's go.
Well, first I got to say, if you would have just followed me and not went out on your own, you would have done a lot better at that horse racing business. But you thought you knew more than the leader, and that was the problem. Hey, yeah. First of all, Laura and I want to thank everybody for jumping on this call, the leaders, what we're learning today, what we're listening to, amazing. And I got to tip my hat to Tom Chenault. Tom, don't quit doing what you're doing, because you are at the very top of this. And that's the reason why we're all here. That's the reason why we're successful, is because you never quit driving the bus, or as Sean would say, as his professional jockey career, you never quit whipping the horse. So first of all, thank you very much. I'm going to turn it over to, as Sean says, the bus driver, the brains of the family, Dr. Laura Dennison.
Yeah.
Well, we do this together. So we both drive the bus, and we both keep each other accountable in this business. So we're excited to be able to talk today. And I tell you what, you never can quit learning. Network marketing, every curve, every roller coaster ride that you go on, you got to have all these tidbits that everybody's talked about today. And I tell you what, I'm like Deb Hall. I had wrote notes after notes after notes. And, just remember, don't ever think that you've made it or anything, because you'll always need to learn and work on yourselves. And so, Stan and I take pride that we do work on ourselves daily, and we love our leadership and longevity. We're gonna go back, because we were thinking about, okay, what are we gonna talk about today that could be helpful? And we decided to go back to the very beginning. Almost 30 years ago is whenever we were the typical family. We were living paycheck to paycheck. We were struggling, and we didn't dream. We didn't have, we couldn't look towards our future, because we were just trying to pay our bills. And we were starting our family, and the struggle was real. And Stan was approached by a friend about this business opportunity, a network marketing opportunity. And he said no 5 times. And finally he said, you know what, let me take a look at it. And so he got the information, and then the light bulb went off. We saw a compensation plan that we had never seen before. We saw a future. We started thinking, wow, if this is half right, this is what's going to save us. And so we jumped off with both feet. I mean, we jumped in, and we started swimming big time. And so we got very passionate about what we were doing. We didn't know anything, but we were very passionate. So when people saw us, they knew something was going on with us. What are you so excited about? And so we were there, and we were telling people, our passion and what we were excited about. And we started dreaming. And, one thing, we're going to go over 3 things, but the first thing is you got to be passionate about what you're doing. People need to know what you're doing. And I'm not saying it in a way that you're being salesy or throwing up on somebody and making all these posts on Facebook that people are like, oh my gosh, I don't want to see that again. You got to be passionate. They need to know what you're doing. We're not closet network marketers. We're like, we're proud to be network marketers. And so if you're in the closet and people don't know that you're actually a professional network marketer, you got to get out of the closet. And, friends way back, 20 some years ago, they thought we were crazy, and it was okay, because, not everybody's going to join your business. And, they, or even our family thought we were crazy. And so, but they all knew we were passionate about what we were doing. When the pandemic happened, the COVID-19, obviously a lot of our friends and family knew how passionate about nutrition we were. And so we got, tons of customers just because they already knew who we were. And so they were looking for us. They wanted that chewable vitamin C. They wanted that zinc. They wanted all these products that Longevity, has, because they knew that we were a part of that. And so, let your passion, see through. Let people see what you're passionate about. With Longevity, there's lots of different areas that you can be passionate about. We got the services, we got, the nutrition, and there's all these different, directions you can go, but make sure that people see that you're passionate about what you do.
Yeah, passion's everything. But I want to go back just a little bit when Laura said that I turned it down 5 times. Why? I mean, most of us here on this Zoom today and in this industry, we didn't learn this in high school or college. We didn't get a degree in it. We knew nothing about it. And most people don't until they get involved. So I had a job. I was a petroleum landman. I thought I was smarter than the home-based business people. I didn't think that stuff was real. I just didn't see that could be anything better than what I was doing. And I wasn't smart enough back then to understand what residual income was, or a compensation plan, or even worse, if something happened to me driving to a courthouse in a state, which I drove all over the United States, drilling oil wells and buying leases. If something happened in a car wreck and I couldn't work, her income, half of it, big income, was gone. And so I finally took a look at this, and I said, you know what? We don't need to make all the money in the world. We just need to make a little bit. Let's see what happens. Let's give it a try. I don't know that I was 100% convinced until I went and told a couple of people our story and why we got involved in this. I mean, paycheck to paycheck, crappy cars. I mean, our life wasn't it was great, but it wasn't great. And we knew if we could just make a little extra, it could change everything, like dance lessons and soccer lessons and all those things. So I decided to give it a try. And what happened that day when I decided to make my commitment, that's what I want everybody on here to make your commitment. I began to dream again. I can remember back when I was in school, I mean, I was going to be a stuntman and a bull rider and a professional. And I did ride bulls, and I had a great time at that. But somehow along the line, I started losing concept of my dreams. And I just settled. I settled for a job. I settled for a paycheck. I settled for whatever they would pay me. And that was the kind of house or car we could have. And so I started settling. And what network marketing did, it reopened those brain waves to something better, a bigger dream, a better life. And I got passion. I got passion about the company and the products and the services. And, I call passion a dream. And then when I met the Wallachs and Sean Brown and Tom Chanel, it's like, oh my God, these are the most amazing people I've ever been around to teach me and tell me and help me. And guys, you always want to run with the front of the pack. You want to run with people who know what they're doing and have been in the trenches. And so it elevates you up. So remember, you don't need no experience. You don't have to be very good at this. You just need to be willing to learn and be coachable and be passionate. And I'm very passionate about what we do and the people we meet. I love this company. I love the product and I love the industry.
Our passion for what we decided to do with, and it changed our life. It changed our family's life. And it was amazing to us. And we met a lot of friends along the way. Some are going to get in with you with this business, but there's going to be some that's not. And you can't let that affect you. We have friends all around the country now that we met through network marketing. And, and they have the same passion for what we do. And, we've built this relationship. So number one thing that you really got to focus on is you got to make sure that you are very passionate about what you do. Maybe it's not longevity. Maybe it's, you're passionate about, being a veterinarian or, and that's okay. But if you're in this to do this business and you're wanting this business to succeed, you got to make sure that you're very passionate about what you do, because people are watching you and they want to see what you have is real. And and you do want to be just yourself. You want to be a real person. The second thing that was in the beginning that was very important for us is accountability. A lot of us get in network marketing and then we get the tools, which, we have the best tools. Longevity, you are spot on with. Now we can send videos. We got, there's no reason why anybody should not succeed and get the tools. We got the 7 steps. We got, so, you make your list and, all these different things. But one thing that is the hardest thing is to be accountable. And it's to be accountable of doing the money-making activities, doing the action steps that you got to do to make sure that you're building your business. So I want you, before we start this, I want you to think about, who did you talk to yesterday about your business? If the answer is oops, I did not, well, we're going to give you a tip that we did a long time ago. And, and we didn't create this. And that's the great thing, is don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just, do what, sparks you and gets you to be accountable. So what we did, one of the money-making activities that we did was that we did the 10 penny rule. And so, Stan and I, and it became a competition a little bit, between us. And, but, it's 10 pennies. You needed to talk to 10 people and, move those pennies. And, sometimes we come home and because we were both still working full-time jobs. And we said, oh, how many people did you talk to? And when I say talk to, it doesn't necessarily have to be about the business, but, it needs to be having a conversation. So Stan, he was the best at the 10 penny rule. So I'm going to let him take over.
Well, the thing is, remember, I said I had no experience. I'd never done anything like this. So the person that got me involved, I went to him and I said, look, what do I do? I have no clue how to do this because I've never done anything like it. And he said, you need to make a list. It's your blueprint to success. We've all heard to make the list. And I'm always amazed at how many people have been in this business for a month or a year and can't show me a list. My friends, the list will set you free. And the second thing he told me was, he said, put 10 pennies in your left pocket. And I looked at him like, you got to be out of your mind. And he said, put 10 pennies in your left pocket. And you can't go to bed until you move those pennies over in the right pocket. And that means you get a business card, find out what somebody does. You don't have to be selling products or talking business. You need to be making acquaintances. You need to be building relationships. And if you'll move 10 pennies a day for the next year, you will build a huge future, a huge income, and a huge group. And it's very duplicatable to teach the few that want to join and live the life that you want to live. Not everybody's going to want to do what you do, but there will be some. And out of that 10, you just keep moving pennies, and it's duplicatable. and I'm telling you, I've been doing it. I've been teaching it for 10 years. I talk to 20 to 30 people a day. I'm always looking for new prospects. I'm always moving pennies. I'm always getting business cards. I would tell you, if you don't have your own business card, it's really kind of embarrassing when you talk to somebody and they ask for your business card and you say, I don't have one. You do not look like you have a business. You need a business card. They're not that dadgum expensive. Get you some business cards. So that's what we did. We moved pennies, and we taught our people move pennies, and we held ourselves accountable. And like Laura said, we'd go home at night and she would quiz me, and it's funny because she would always ask me first, how many pennies did you move? And I'd reach into my left pocket and I could either say 10 or I could say 5 or I could say 4. But I knew the minute I reached in that pocket that I either succeeded or I failed that day. I hold myself accountable. Now, some folks on this phone don't move 10, move 5, move 2, but move something. Because if you're not doing anything, surely to goodness, you can't expect anything to happen. So that's what we did. We had one simple plan, a list, and moving 10 pennies, and teach people to do the same and be held accountable. And we hold ourselves accountable every day.
And so, ours was moving 10 pennies, and that was, way back when. We've evolved a lot from that as far as, our different strategies, getting people started and the different tools that we got to do. But you guys, you got to make sure that you're moving forward. And if you're not talking to people, not having those conversations, then you guys, you're not going to build your business, and you're not going to get other people to follow you and do the business. I love that Tom Chenault and Denise have, the 65 and a wake up, because that's building that muscle. That's building that muscle to be able to talk to people and share a tool. Back when we started, it was the 10 pennies. And so, look and think about what structure or what system you have to do that money making activity. You got to be able to set those goals, because every day Stan and I, we were setting that we wanted to talk to 10 people. Now, when I'm saying that, I'm not saying that we were thinking people as numbers, because if you know us, you know that we build a strong relationship. We're into building, friends and relationships and getting them on the 90 for life, getting them on these nutritional products. We know the value of what we have. We know the value of what we are getting other people to see. Okay. So it's not like we're doing a numbers game, but the thing is you got to set some type of goal. You got to set some type of way to be able to say to yourself, when you go to bed at night, this was my goal. This is what I decided to do. And guess what? I did it. And, when you can say, I did it, is a great feeling. And so, that was one thing way back when, in network marketing, and, that we did. It was move those 10 pennies. You can do 10 beans, but you just got to make sure you're doing something.
Yeah, Sean, don't put 10 pieces of candy in your pocket, because I got a feeling it'll be gone by tomorrow.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, she's right. I mean, it's about passion, but you don't have to have any experience, my friends. You just got to be willing to do it. You got to dream again. You got to understand, when I got involved, I wasn't dreaming about a mansion on the hill. I was just dreaming about enough to pay that dadgum house payment. I was just dreaming about enough to pay Kelsey's dance recital lessons, because it was a struggle. No one told me before I became a father that all that stuff costs money. Basketball, baseball for David, football, dance lessons, recital dresses. My gosh, you got to buy a full. And so that's why Kelsey's doing what she's doing, because she learned the hard way that everything's expensive, and nobody at my old job accounted for that. So that's what I really love about this, is the accountability. I want to be held accountable. Tom holds me accountable. He does. He talks to a lot of his people. He calls everybody. But if I can't hold myself accountable, how can Tom Chenault hold me accountable? I've got to be the guy that does it.
So that brings up our third tip, and our third strategy, or third thing that we think is the most important is, you guys, this business begins and ends with you. It's up to you. I mean, you are the one that can determine your future. It begins and ends with you.
I'm telling you, there is a row of speakers here today that has put so many things and so many nuggets out there to help you and me get better and succeed. But you are the one that has to own it. You do. The beginning and the end starts and stops with you. So if you take nothing away from this and you don't use it, then you might as well not even bother to get on this rascal.
Yeah.
It's time to quit worrying about what everybody's thinking. It's time to quit worrying about what your friends and neighbors and family says. Heck, my mom thought I was absolutely out of my mind when I told her I was going to quit my job and go full-time network marketing. She thought, oh my gosh, Dan, what are you doing? My comment was, Mom, I can always go back and do what I've done. I've proven that for years. I want to do something different with my life. I don't have to want to ask, can I take off a day to go watch my kids practice or have a high school baseball game or a junior high game? Now, you're going to have to do some things you don't want to do. I'm just going to be honest with you, because I hear this in my team. And gosh, my team, I know they're all here, but I'm not talking about
Which we
you.
love you.
Yeah,
we love our
all
team.
But I hear people say, well, I can't do that on Mondays or Wednesdays or Thursdays because the kids got games and the kids got, look, one of you go to the game, one of you go to the event, one of you go to the training, one of you get on the Zoom. You're going to have to give up some things to get some things that most people will never have. You can't live like the rest of the world and expect to have the things that we have through network marketing in this industry. It's tough. When I tell my own daughter, one of you can't go to the scrimmage today or watch your daughter play softball because somebody needs to do this meeting. But that's the way it is. Laura and I, Kelsey was on stage with us when we started at 3 years of age because we had to go to a meeting. She did her homework in the car on the way home from the meeting. She slept in the car. We knew if we would do what we don't want to do, and I tell you this, my friends, do what you don't want to do for the next 1 to 3 years. You can have what most people will never have. And that's what this industry does. Back then, do you think I wanted to make phone calls and be scared to death and have somebody tell me no? Heck no. Did I want a different life? Did I want to know if something happened to me that she was taken care of? Heck yes. So it's time to say, okay, I haven't been doing a good job. I haven't been doing what I need to do. I need to get more passionate about what I'm doing. I need to start dreaming. I need to start holding myself accountable because it's for her, or in her case, for me. Why she went back to school and became a doctor. She wants to keep me around for a long time. That's good. And then you've got to own it. If your bank account's not where you want it, whose fault is it? If your weight or your health or whose fault is it? It's yours. It's mine. I own it. And I believe it. And I know that this industry, this company, and the people that's talking to us today can change the lives of anybody who wants to change. It's that simple.
And when you figure out and you quit the blame game, people are joining this business because of you. They're not joining because, you have fancy Tom Chenault and fancy Paul Croto. And I'm saying that, you guys are amazing. But what I'm saying is for people out there, you don't have to be, Tom Chenault's enrolling. It's all up to you what you do with this business. And so it begins and ends with you.
Yeah. And Laura and I want to leave this last final thought, and maybe we're ahead of schedule, and that's good. We'll get on time. But I want to leave you with this last thought. You can write this down. I must do what I don't want to do for the next 1 to 3 years to get what most people will never have.
That's right.
And that's time freedom and financial freedom. Because you know where you're working, you know what your paychecks are, you know what those deals are. And if you don't make any changes, nothing will change. So you got to work, you got to pay the bills, you got to come home, you got to change clothes, you got to go to a meeting that you dread, you got to go to a conference call, you got to do the things that you don't want to do to get what you want. Now, what happens when you do that? Well, I'll tell you what happens. Somebody said yes, on this deal today about residual income. We're in a pandemic. We're in quarantine. Longevity is amazing. Look what come in the mail today. My dadgum check. Half the world is not even working. I'm at home getting paid. Come on, guys. It's a no-brainer. Do what you don't want to do for the next 3 years and watch what happens. Commit. Watch what happens.
You guys, and I'm going to finish this, just one final thought. This is the most important time right now to reach out to people. You guys, with this pandemic, our son got furloughed yesterday. So this is real stuff. This is real people's lives. They need us. They are just waiting for you to pick up the phone and give them a call and let them know what you have, because they need us. They need us with the products. They need us with the friendship, and they need us with the income. Thank you, guys. We love you guys so much, and you guys are absolutely fantastic. And Tom, I'm going to say that I think that, if you do this once a week, I think it's great, at least bi-monthly, but don't wait once a month, because that's usually when we do our Super Saturdays is once a month. We need to do it either once a week or bi-monthly. Love you guys.
Hey, Kelsey, could you teach your parents how to set up direct deposit? Seriously, Kelsey.
We're old school. Hey,